Good evening, I'm Kevin Christopher.
And I'm Nancy Cox. Thank you for joining us at 11. We'll get to the big story in a moment, but first, gunfire erupted at a park in Franklin County tonight, and police say one person is dead and 2 others were hit.
It happened shortly before 6 o'clock at East Frankfort Park at a pavilion that was rented out for a private event. We have 2 reports tonight, beginning with LEX 18's Conroy Deluge in Frankfort.
Kevin and Nancy, we are standing near the entrance of the park, which has been closed for several hours. Police have kept us pretty far back away from the scene of that shooting while they continue to investigate what happened. We actually heard a variety of rumors before Frankfort police set the record straight. Captain Dustin Bowman says there was a private event going on at East Frankfort Park when someone fired gunshots. We're told 3 people were shot. The Franklin County coroner says 25-year-old Anthony Hendricks from Cincinnati was hit multiple times by gunshots and died at a Frankfort hospital around 7:30. The 2 others are being treated at the hospital, and their injuries are described as non-life-threatening.
What we believe right now is it's an isolated incident. We don't believe that somebody showed up here to target one person specifically, and we don't believe this is anything that's active or going on. So no, we don't feel like there's any danger to the community.
The body of the victim will be taken in for an autopsy, and the coroner says we should know the results in 12 to 14 weeks. As for the shooter, police are following up on leads at this point, but there is no one in custody or description at this point. Jacqueline Nye is also here with us at East Frankfort Park. She spoke to someone who witnessed the shooting. Jacqueline Nye continues our team coverage.
The woman I talked to says she was dropping her son off at the park when they heard several gunshots.
It was quick shots fired. It was like bang, bang, bang.
The witness didn't want to go on camera, but she says she was dropping her son off at the park to play baseball with her husband and other kids when mayhem broke out.
He was walking towards the baseball field, and then we heard the rounds of gunshots fired. So I yelled for him to get back into the car while his dad and siblings ran towards the bushes at the lower.
With no way to get out of the park, she drove to the bottom of the field.
His dad and siblings had ran into the bushes, and the car who was with the shooter in it, we believe, came and they ran through the gate to get out. They were probably going about 60 miles per hour.
She describes those moments as agonizing, knowing her babies were in harm's way.
You hear of shootings every day at different places. Never thought it would be me.
The witness tells me normally this park is family friendly. In Frankfort, Jacqueline Nye, LEX 18 News.
Now to the big story. Hurricane Dorian remains a powerful Category 4 tonight. It's already been blamed for several deaths in the Bahamas.
Dorian's been a slow-moving nightmare for people in the Bahamas and on the U.S. East Coast. That's in its projected path. Jamie Garola has the latest from Pompano Beach, Florida.
Tonight, there's a death toll after Hurricane Dorian whipped through the Bahamas, then stalled over the islands for hours.
We know that there are a number of people in Grand Bahama who are in serious distress, and we will provide relief and assistance as soon as possible.
And now, more than 24 hours since making landfall, the mission is rescue and recovery.
The initial reports from Abaco is that the devastation is unprecedented and extensive.
In Miami, much-needed donations being collected for the devastated islands. Meanwhile, the rest of Florida still on edge, waiting for Dorian to make a move. Florida's governor says dozens of medical facilities are moving patients to safer ground.
Get out now while you have time, while there's fuel available, and you'll be safe on the roads.
More than 1 million people ordered to evacuate from Florida to the Carolinas. Across the U.S., thousands of flights canceled and some airports are closed. All right, and airports in Fort Lauderdale and West Palm are both closed. Miami International remains open. However, Orlando will also close sometime overnight. So anybody with any sort of travel plans to Florida should definitely check with their airlines for any possible delays or cancellations. In Pompano Beach, Florida, Jamie Garola, NBC News.
The Kentucky National Guard tells LEX 18 they're sending approximately 350 troops to help with recovery after the storm, and they're expected to leave Wednesday or Thursday. During severe weather, television and radio stations have a responsibility to tell you what's going on. But that task can be pretty daunting, and it can mean long hours for station employees.
That's their hometown as well. So LEX 18 is helping our broadcast colleagues in West Palm Beach this week. One of our producers, Sydney DeLong, is there making sure viewers in the Palm Beach County area stay up to date about Hurricane Dorian.
Kevin and Nancy, that's right. I'm here in West Palm Beach, Florida, where Hurricane Dorian is inching closer and closer. Everyone is keeping a watchful eye on that track on Hurricane Dorian. Now, as you said, I am here helping our sister station, WPTV. Now, the station is about a mile off the Florida coast. Throughout the day, we've seen the wind really pick up. Right now, we're seeing about tropical storm force winds. We have crews up and down the Florida coast checking in on residents and making sure everyone heeds the warning from officials to stay safe. Our meteorologists are working around the clock to track this storm. We'll keep you up to date on what's going on from here. But for now, I'm Sydney DeLong, LEX 18 News from West Palm Beach, Florida.
You know, Sydney's working hard down there, too. Well, in South Carolina, the evacuation of Hilton Head Island started today at noon in anticipation of Hurricane Dorian hitting the island as early as Wednesday.
Former LEX 18 News Director Bruce Carter recently moved to Hilton Head. He says a week ago the beach was packed with tourists, but now the island's nearly empty. Many, including Carter, have been getting their homes ready for what could be several feet of rain and high winds.
All the storefronts are closed, and there's a bit of anxiety knowing that you're leaving your house, and when you come back, it may be damaged.
As of now, the current projected path of Hurricane Dorian takes the storm about 70 miles away from Hilton Head. Now remember, you can get the latest news about Hurricane Dorian 24/7, both on air and online at lex18.com.
One report coming out of South Carolina a little while ago that they've taken I-26, which runs through South Carolina down to the coast, and they've made all the lanes one direction to aid in the evacuation process there. That said, the storm really hasn't moved much since we last spoke at 7 o'clock this evening. The eye still continues right over Grand Bahama Island. Not quite as precise or as pristine as it was earlier. That's a sign the storm is gradually weakening, but there are feeder bands already affecting parts of Florida. You can see over the last several hours how the rotation just continues, and Grand Bahama just has been pummeled. Imagine it's a 30, 40 mile wide F3 tornado that doesn't move, and that's what they've been seeing. It's about 90 miles from Jupiter, Florida at this point. So we go to the folks from the Hurricane Center here, the satellite perspective, and watch as you see that eye of the storm. Look at it just spinning right in there. And again, just an amazing storm to see. There is a little bit of a northward drift, but then it wobbled back south again. Eventually, this thing will turn north. It is slowly weakening, but at the moment, it is basically stationary and still a Category 4. There are hurricane warnings all the way up into South Georgia for the storm that will be arriving during the day tomorrow and on into Wednesday. Here's our future track quickly. You'll see as we go from Tuesday into the afternoon, the storm passes by the Space Coast and then eventually up towards South Georgia. Yeah, it's a big storm. Our weather is nearly pristine in comparison. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay, thank you, Bill. In other news tonight, 2 people were seriously injured while camping at a state park in Robertson County when a tree fell on their tent. 5 people were in or near the tent when the tree crushed it. Jenny Wright was nearby when it happened. As a few men lifted the tree, she was able to pull one of the victims out. Jill Jones and Wright both work in the medical field and rushed into action until ambulances arrived.
Felt like a while. I'm sure it wasn't.
Felt like forever.
Yeah, just trying to keep the girl, calm and keep everybody calm and, just kind of stable until we could get somebody else here.
There was a dog with the campers, which we're told ran away, still with its leash and harness. No word on whether that dog's been found.
The Bourbon County coroner has identified the man killed following a crash last night. It happened on Russell Cave Road at the Fayette County line. According to the coroner, 55-year-old Isaias Contreras hit a tree. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Now they're waiting for toxicology results as they try to determine what caused that crash.
We continue to keep an eye on Hurricane Dorian, which is still a dangerous Category 4 storm tonight.
Will it eventually affect our weather here in Kentucky? Those up next with your Storm Tracker forecast.